As Israeli rockets continue to rain down on Gaza, the Palestinian Health Ministry reported 165 people were killed and 280 wounded in the 24-hour period. The authorities in the enclave say Israel's offensive has killed nearly 25,000 Palestinians so far, most of them women and children. On Saturday, the Israeli army released footage claiming it showed their troops operating in the city of Khan Yunis in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, in Caesarea, dozens of protesters rallied in front of the Prime Minister's home to demand the return of Israeli hostages held in Gaza. They had been gathered since Friday to demand the government secure their loved ones' release. However, the military forced them back. This comes as Prime Minister Netanyahu took to social media, saying he would not, quote, compromise on full Israeli control over the Strip, and that it was, quote, contrary to a Palestinian state. Iran has confirmed the death of a Revolutionary Guard commander and his deputy following an Israeli strike on Damascus. According to local media, the men were members of the Guard's expeditionary Quds force. The airstrike on the Syrian capital targeted a building that was regularly used by the group. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said at least 5 people were killed in the missile attack, which struck while officials from groups backed by Iran were reportedly holding a meeting. The strike comes as tensions in the region are widening as Israel continues its assault on Gaza. Its relentless bombing campaign has killed nearly 25,000 Palestinians, according to the health authorities there. Over the past few weeks, Israel has been trading rocket fire with Syria and Lebanon along their shared borders, and that's fueling fears that the conflict could spread.
Iran says this rocket launched a satellite into its highest orbit yet on Saturday. If true, it'll raise Western concerns that the technology for Iran's ballistic missiles have also been improved. Almost at the same time, Israel was carrying out an airstrike on senior Iranian commanders meeting in the Syrian capital, Damascus. The United States has previously said that Iran's satellite launches defy a UN Security Council resolution. It's called on Tehran not to develop its nuclear-capable missiles any further.
Tens of thousands of people took to the streets across Germany on Saturday to protest the far-right AfD party. The demonstrations come after a report was published on January 10th saying that party members met with right-wing extremists to discuss the deportation of millions of immigrants, including some with German citizenship. In Frankfurt alone, authorities said the protest drew 35,000 people.
Ich habe damit gerechnet, dass ich hier nicht allein stehen würde, aber dass es so viel ist und nicht nur hier, sondern bis zur Zahl, das ist unglaublich und das tut einfach gut zu wissen, dass wir die Mehrheit sind.
The backlash prompted by the report published by media outlet Correctiv has prompted renewed calls for Germany to consider banning the AfD. The protests also reflect growing concerns over the party's growing popularity among German voters after it won its very first mayoral and district council elections last summer.
The Danish government has urged Nordic Waste to clean up after a massive landslide at its reprocessing plant for contaminated soil. But since the company controversially declared itself bankrupt, the taxpayer will now have to pay 27 million euros to clean it up. The landslide near the second biggest city, Aarhus, means 6 million tons of contaminated soil are threatening to poison nearby seas, streams and fjords. Denmark's sixth richest person, Torben Ostergaard Nielsen, owns the company.
The SpaceX Flight Axiom Mission 3 docked at the International Space Station on Saturday. Italian, Swedish and Turkish astronauts were on board. The Falcon rocket blasted off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center late afternoon on Thursday. The 3 men on board will spend 2 weeks conducting experiments and collecting data on both human physiology and technological advances. It's costing each of the 3 countries around 50 million euros or more and is the 3rd such journey organized by the company.